Make sure you have all of your props, and the props that we need today are just 1 pound weight, maybe 1.5 pound weight, which is like a soup can, maybe a 2 pound weight, but nothing more than 2 pounds. So anywhere between 1 pound and 2 pounds will be just fine. And at some point, you might not even be using weights at all. So it'll be completely up to listening to your shoulders very, very carefully as to what weight you'll be doing. So we're going to start with, everybody's shoulders are different, and everybody has maybe some injuries or some non-injuries or just stiffness of your shoulders. So I'd like, for the first few minutes that I'll be talking a little bit, what I want you to do is, I want you to, if you're sitting down, please stand up, and I want you to just move your shoulders in whatever way feels best for you. Like you just woke up out of bed, and you probably did not, but if you just woke up out of bed, okay, what do I need to do to get my shoulders sort of alive and awake, sort of like the rest of my body right now? So move your shoulders in whatever directions you want to do. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about shoulders, just kind of giving you a little bit of an update about shoulders and things. Like we covered a lot of this about a month or so ago, but today we're going to do some stamina work as well as some endurance. So just get your shoulders doing whatever they should be doing, and keep in mind that shoulders is the shoulder joint is actually 3 joints, but one of the joints of the shoulder joint is considered a ball and socket joint. So it has a lot of ability to move in all these different directions, sort of like our hip joint can move in all these different directions, which is, great too. But it also, because of the fact that it can move in all these different directions, and it's held together by 3 bones, the arm bone, the humerus, the scapulas, and the collarbone, what ends up happening is that it also can become pretty unstable. So what we take a look at, shoulders end up with a lot of damage sometimes. I'm going to put this on. There you go. Okay, I'm kind of talking to myself. So you want to be looking at, your shoulders can move in all these wonderful directions, and at the same time, because they can move in all these wonderful directions, they're almost saying, okay, when am I going to get injured? And sure enough, sooner or later, somebody's got a little pain here or a little pain there. So we want to take a look at today's practice as, how can I have all the little muscles in my shoulders working well, and keep in mind also that the shoulders are not just what connects your arms to your body, but your shoulders are all part of your whole body. So move your whole body around as you're moving your shoulders around. Keep in mind the shoulders can have somewhere between 10 and 12 different directions it could move in. Shoulders can be elevated, depressed, abducted, adducted. Your shoulder blades in the back can be retracted and protracted. You can have internal rotation, external rotation. You can have flexion. You can have extension. So a lot of the stuff, your shoulders can do a lot of different things. And you want to keep on moving your shoulders in these different ways. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of form. When you're doing whatever you're doing, either with me or just with sitting at, or just walking down the street, do you have your shoulders back? Or are your shoulders kind of like this when you're walking, or when you're at your computer? Can you bring your shoulders back? Even right now, as you're doing your warm-ups right now, can you bring your shoulders back? And remember, the shoulder joint has got the humerus, it's got the clavicle, which is your collarbone, and then what we forget often is that we have the shoulder blade back here, the shoulder blades back here. All those 3 bones come together and they meet right here, and they're attached right here at the head of your humerus. So it's very easy to do some damage to here unless you're keeping it alive and well. So move your body around. And now we're going to actually start a warm-up. Now I know you probably feel pretty warmed up, but right now we're going to do an actual warm-up. So we're going to start the simple warm-up with epaulette circles. Put your fingertips on your shoulders. Bring your elbows together so they touch, if they can, and bring them up as high as you can and make the circle as round and as big as you can. And do it smoothly and not slowly, but sort of at a moderate speed, whatever works for you. Maybe 5 to 10 in one direction, and then maybe 5 to 10 in the other direction. This is circumduction. This is another direction that the shoulders can go into, but it's not only circumduction. If you notice, it's abduction and adduction as well, and internal and external rotation. And then let your arms just swing. Flexion, extension, just be relaxed with your body. And throughout the whole practice today, let's see if your bodies can move along with your arms. Whatever direction we're doing, I want to see how your whole body, remember we're connected from the top of our head down to our feet. We're just all one body. It's not like we have our shoulders are separate from the rest of us. Let's do some shoulder rolls, some nice circumduction. So lift your shoulders up, bring them back and around, making your shoulders go up and around. Breathe nicely. Big shoulder circles, a few more times. And then make them go the other way. Nice big circles. And then let's do that movement that we call chronic bath, which makes your shoulders go in a lot of different directions all in one movement. So bring your arms out, palms face up, and then bend your elbows so your hands come to the back of your head. Let the backs of your hands come together. Bring your hands up to the sky. Bring your hands down, abducting, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then come back on out and do it again. Slide your hands down the back of your head, backs of your hands together, up to the sky. And as you're coming down, keep on doing this. And as you're coming down, make sure your arms are back far enough that you can't even see your hands. So up, back, up, out, and down. Forward, round, back of your head, turn the backs of your hands towards each other, straight up to the sky, and down. A couple more times, just like that. Speed it up a little bit. Make it a little bit faster. Remember, when we're paddling, we're not just doing a canoe stroke. We're really paddling. We're making ourselves work a little bit harder. And I think last week or a couple weeks ago, I talked about slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. So when we're just paddling on the lake, we're using more slow twitch muscles. And then when we get close to the finish line, where you hear finish it, that's when we're starting to use the fast twitch muscles. So we're going to be using a combination of slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. But one of the things that is often neglected when we talk about shoulders, I'm saying move your bodies around, but also what we want to take a look at, another part of our anatomy when we talk about shoulders and how we can move our shoulders and the freedom that we have or move our shoulders pertains to our spine. So if your spine, especially up here in the thoracic and the cervical spine, have gotten stiff from all the stuff that we're doing like this, that's going to affect how your scapulas work, your shoulder blades, and it's going to affect your shoulders. So I want to make sure that your spine, which is this wonderful 33 vertebrae that are coming down from basically your skull down to your tailbone, you want to make sure that they can rotate and they can move in all these different directions So just stand comfortably and just let your arms just swing back and forth sideways. Now, what you're doing now is you're allowing your spine to do this beautiful rotation. This rotation of your spine is going to help your shoulders. Now we're going to add to that. So with one hand, it will be an internal rotation of the shoulder and an external rotation of the shoulder as you look back to your hand and then to the other side. So an internal rotation, external rotation, and back. But I don't want you doing it slow motion like this. I want you to do it with whatever nice speed works for you. So you're going back and going back and you're going back. I let your body get into it as well. Hips are working. Chest is working. Look at your hand as you go back. Twist and turn and look back at your hand. Can you go back a little bit further? Can you look back a little bit more? Can you really see behind you? Up and back and back and back. A few more times, just feel this wonderful opening that you've got right now. And relax. We're going to go into a couple of different things for stamina right now. And what you're going to do is we're going to do a set of 4 different movements with no weight at all. Then we're going to do the same 4 movements, and you can choose, listening to your shoulders, if you want to add weight or not. And then we'll do the same 4 movements again, once again, with weights or without. So we're talking about either no weight or a 1 pound weight or a 1.5 pound weight or a 2 pound weight. You decide, and you'll know when you're actually doing it. And keep in mind this, that when you take your arms like this, you can do lots of stuff with it. As soon as you put a weight in the end of it, now the fulcrum is back here. It makes this 1 pound weight feel a heck of a lot heavier than 1 pound. If it was bent like this, it would feel lighter. So just know, listen to your shoulders. You don't want your shoulders to hurt while we're doing this, and at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice the form. So the first 4 movements that we're going to be doing, and we're going to do them for 1 minute. I think we'll do 1 minute for each one. We'll try that out. Is you'll be bending forward like so, maybe 45-degree angle. You don't have to be bent all the way over. And you're going to have your hands, turn this down so you can see a little bit more. Your palms will be facing each other like this. Remember, no weight to start with. And what you're going to be doing is arms up alongside of your ears as high as you can go, and then back and down. So it's as high as you can go, back on down. High as you can go, back on down. So you're not just throwing your arms around like this, but you're going very deliberately with form. Second movement in this series is that you can do, I call this an I, like the letter I. Then you're going to do the letter Y. So your thumbs will be pointing up and sort of forward and making a big Y and down. Y and down. Y and down. Like so. Thumbs are up and down. And then the next one will be the letter T, which will be palms will be facing each other, or you have your fingers bent like I have. Thumbs are sticking out. And you're going straight out to the side as high as you can. Palms are down. This is the letter T. And then the last one will be where your arms will be in extension. So you'll start with your hands like so, palms facing each other. But when you go back, you're going to turn so your thumbs are pointing back and towards the ceiling and then back to the middle. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. So we're going to do that for a minute for each one of these movements with no weight at all. Let me get my phone going here. So bend on over and begin. Probably pretty easy. Thumbs are pointing to the sky. Bring them up as high as you can. Try not to round your back. Try to have your back reasonably flat. Remember, it's not momentum that is bringing your arms up. It's your lifting your arms up as high as you can alongside of your ears. 15 seconds to go. And we're going to go straight into the Y. This is the I. Then we're going to go straight into Y. 3, 2, 1. And now go straight into the Y. Go. Get those thumbs up. Get them up as high as you can. And as you're going up, you're probably feeling your shoulder blades, your scalp pinching together. And you'll probably notice with each one of these 4 movements that there's going to be a whole different feeling in your shoulders. Some will be, oh, I can do this great in this position. Maybe not so great in some other position. 10 seconds to go. Three, 2, 1, and begin. And now sideways to a T. Straight to the side, palms stay down the whole time. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Thirty seconds. Jaws brought us yesterday in yesterday's exercise class to exhaustion. I hope that this is not bringing you to exhaustion, but at the same time, you really want to know that, okay, this is making me do something. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now go back. Back. And as you're going back, it's not just straight back. You're starting with your thumbs pointing forward, but as you go back, you want your thumbs pointing back into the ceiling behind you, back into the wall and the ceiling behind you. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe. Twenty seconds. 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little break. So now we're going to do the same 4, and you're going to decide, do I want weight or do I don't want, or do I not want weight? I would suggest, I mean, if these were super easy for you, then you can start right off with a 2-pound weight or 1.5 pounds. If this was a little bit difficult, try a 1 pound weight, either just like using a bottle of water like so, or just using a can that's a pound. Or you might find that one of the 4 movements you would rather have weight, and one of the 4 movements you wouldn't want to have weight. So I'm going to start with 1 pound weights for myself. And remember, we're going to do the I, Y, T, and then back here. All right, get yourself in position, get your weights ready, and begin. Forward. Breathing deeply the whole time. If you're back in a position that feels good for you, try not to round your back. Lift it up as high as you can. 20 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go straight into the Y. Y. Thumbs up. I don't know about you, but my shoulders are getting pretty tired right now with just 1 pound weights. Breathe deeply, deeply. 30 seconds. Keep on breathing. Keep on going. And if at any point you feel like you've got weights in your hands and you don't want weights, drop the weights. These are your shoulders, not mine. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Over to do T. T. Palms down. Squeeze. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Breathe. Lift them as high as you can. If the weights get to be too much, don't have weights. You're really waking up your shoulders in a beautiful way right now. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1, and now go straight back, turning your palms. Begin. So now you're doing extension, twist. Twist those shoulders. Turn those thumbs to face the sky. Turn the thumbs and then turn them back down. Palms face each other, palms away. Keep your knees relaxed. Back nice and straight if you can. Breathe, don't hold your breath. 20. 10. 3, 2, 1, and release. Stop. We're going to do one more round of those 4 different movements. And once again, you're going to determine whether you want to have weight or no weight. But we're right now using no weight, you're really working on the little muscles of your shoulders. If you're finding yourself, yeah.
I have a question. So when we were doing that, bent, this is Maggie, bent at the waist, bent forward, my lower back was really being bothered.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, I just stood up and did it straight.
Can you take your hips, if your back was being bothered, can you take your hips and tuck your tailbone under? Notice that that makes a difference.
Okay.
Think of your hips being a wheel. Can you tuck your tailbone under or push it back? One way might cause some pain, one way might relieve the pain. So if you can relieve the pain in either way, I would suggest that you do it standing up if you have to.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go back to the same 4 again. Once again, you decide. No weights, pound weight, pound and a half, 2 pounds, completely up to you. I'm going to go back to the 1 pounders myself, and let's begin. Straightforward. Breathe. Keep your knees relaxed. And then Maggie asked her, if she talked about her back, I tucked my tailbone back this time instead of tucking it under, and it seemed to relieve some of the pressure from my back. So if your back is bothering you in some way or another, by all means, maybe just changing your hip rotation. And this is really good because it's obviously giving you an example of how everything is connected. So what on earth does our back have to do with our shoulders and our hips? And the answer is everything. 12, 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go straight into the Y movements. Up. Is your neck relaxed? Are your knees bent nicely to give yourself some, relieving some pressure perhaps from your lower back? Are you lifting up as high as you can, or are you kind of cutting corners? Breathe. "30 seconds. Stretch them out there. This is Y shape. Deep, deep, full abdominal breathing. 9, 8, 3, 2, 1, and go straight into the T. Palms face towards each other and palms face down. Coming into a T, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Give yourself the option of using weights, not using weights. You don't have to prove anything to me or to yourself. Where can you get the most value from each one of these movements? $15. 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now back with extension. Let those thumbs flare out and towards the back wall and towards the ceiling. Beautiful extension. 30 seconds. You can do it. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Whew.
Matt, it's Maggie.
Yeah.
That tucking the hips helped quite a bit. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah. It's so interesting about the tucking of the hips because often we don't put any concentration. If you remember back from the hip workshop I did a few weeks ago, how important it is to think of your hips as you can tuck your tailbone under, you can push your tailbone back, you can do a lot of stuff with your hips in this way, but we don't. We just kind of like let our hips just do what they do, and then we wonder why we have lower back problems or mid back problems. So you want to experiment with this a little bit. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sweaty. We're now going to do the next 4 exercises, and once again, the same as before, you'll either use weights or not, and you'll start the first time we do the first 4, you won't use any weights at all, and the next 2 sets, you'll use weights or you won't use weights. It'll be completely up to you. I'm going to describe each one. So the starting position on the first of the 4 movements will be sort of like a W. I have my arms out here like a W, and I'm going to be bringing them down. So I'm sort of pinching my shoulder blades together a little bit, and then bringing them back up. But I'm not doing it at this rate. I'm pushing my hands away, not too straight, but keeping it at an L, keeping it at a W shape, and then squeezing them back. Pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling. So I want to feel as when I'm doing this, as if somebody was pulling my arm out and I'm resisting, and as I'm pulling my arm back, almost as if I'm pulling back and there's somebody holding my hand from pressing it back. You determine how much pressure.
Matt?
Yes.
Can I ask a question, Matt? I'm sorry to interrupt. So I have a shoulder that's bugging me, pretty deep in there. I don't know what the issue is. I haven't had a doctor look at it. Should I not be doing these at all if I feel pain at all? How do you do it? Do you do kind of one side a little lower or what?
Yeah, you can do one side a little lower, but you could also look for acute pain as opposed to pain that's just starting. You get acute pain, like somebody's hit you on your shoulder with a hammer. Boom! Don't do it.
Yeah, no. And actually, the stretch, what we've been doing has helped it. I've already felt the heat in there, and it's just felt better. But
Good.
Like this last one you're teaching feels like it's pushing it to sort of a place that's not. It's less comfortable. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it. But you're just saying kind of back off a little bit on it.
Yeah, back off. Remember when I said in the beginning of the workshop, the shoulders are pretty complicated. I said it's a ball and socket joint, but it's really like 3 different joints that are all in here, and they're doing all kinds of things. And then you have some anatomical things and some what is the shape of the acromion bone, and and how much can you lift your arm up before causing some stale. And I've had operations in both of my shoulders, so there's lots of stuff going on in your shoulders all the time. Listen to your shoulders. Not everybody can have this wonderful.
Right. Yeah, mine's going about to here. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyhow, you're welcome. So the first one was going to be the W. The second one that we're going to be doing is you'll have your arms out. Remember in the Jane Fonda light bulb thing that we had where your arms were straight? But this time, I don't want your arms straight. I want your arms a little bit bent. Take some of the heat off. So your thumbs will be up, your thumbs will be down. Thumbs will be up, thumbs will be down. That's movement number 2. Movement number 3 is you'll put your hands so your thumbs are touching your shoulders and your palms are facing reasonably forward. And then you're going to stretch one arm up as straight as you can. Now, notice that I'm leaning a little bit to the one side. That's great. Stretch it up as high as you can. Right now, stretch one arm up. And now stretch it up another inch. Notice that you really can go up higher, but we sort of don't. And when you bring your hand up, try to have it up alongside of your ear as opposed to out here in front, as much as you can. And then you'll do the other side, up, up. And you don't want to quit here. You want to go up as high as you can. So you'll feel something in your spine as well. And this is what you're doing. And you're doing it at a nice speed. We'll do that for a minute. And then the fourth movement is you'll bring your hands together. If you're holding a weight, you'll hold a weight or two weights. And you'll bring your elbows together like so. And then you'll bring your elbows apart. So the movement is this movement, as high as you can. And we'll do that for a minute. So movement number one is this. Movement number two is this. Movement number three is this. And movement number four is this. Okay, we're going to do the first set without any weights at all. So start in your W position. We'll do it for a minute, just like we did the other one. And begin. Breathe. Stand with good posture. Now I know right off the bat, there's no way that I'm going to be able to add weight to this portion. For me, this is plenty with no weight. 20 seconds. If you need to quit or break, by all means do. 5, 4, 3, 2, oh boy. 1. Go straight into the next one. Palms, thumbs down. Palms, thumbs up. Down, up, down, up. You're working your wrist. You're working your forearm, but you're also working your shoulders. Whew. Feel your shoulders having an internal rotation, external rotation, internal, external, internal, external. Ooh, I don't know about you, but maybe a minute is too much. For some of you, this might feel really easy. It sure doesn't feel really easy for me. Oh, oh. A few more seconds. Oh, and now the third movement, which is alongside of your thumbs on your shoulders, up as high as you can, up, back, and forth, and back, and forth. Do it as fast as you can without sacrificing form. Have the hands be alongside of your ears, not in front of your face. Stretch those fingers, stretch those arms. 10. 7. And release. Next movement. In and out. Go. Hands together. Elbows apart. Once again, as fast as you can without sacrificing range of motion. So you don't want to just go like this. Up, together, up, together, up, together, up, together. Ten. And release. Whew. I'm going to change this to 30 seconds each. Now, some of you, maybe it's just my old weak shoulders, but minute for each one of those segments was a lot for me. If you want to do more, by all means do. But I'm going to reset it so we're doing for 30 seconds for each one. And just like in the first one, use no weight, a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds, completely up to you for each one of the different movements. Get your breath. I'm going to set it for 30 seconds. And we'll start with the W's. So remember, it's W, and then it's this one, and then it's this one, and then it's this one. 30 seconds each one. If you were able to hang in there for a minute before, you probably can easily do 30 seconds. We'll find out. All right? And begin. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Push out, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Ten. And now the rotation. Begin. Internal, external, internal, external. Ten. 2, 1, oh. And begin. Thumbs to your shoulders, up, 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 up. Get your hips into it, get your back into it. 7, 5, and the last one. Elbows together, apart, together, apart. Three, 2, 1, and release. Few second break. Now you know which worked for you, that you were able to use weights or not use weights, completely to you, up to you. So we do the same 4 again, 30 seconds each time. Shake your shoulders out a little bit if you need to. Take a few breaths. And get ready in W position. Begin. Squeeze those scapulas. Squeeze them together. the one bone in our body, part of the shoulders, that we pay so little attention to because it's back there. We can't see it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now into the rotation. Go. Try not to hike your shoulders up. Keep your shoulders down. If you need to lower your arms down a little bit, that's okay. We're looking at internal, external rotation of the shoulders. Remember, we can do all these different positions with the shoulders, and then we find that we can't, especially when you get older. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now up to the sky. Go. Straight arm. Straight. Straight. Stretch it a little higher. Can you touch your ceiling? A little higher. Get those fingers stretched too. Stretch it. Stretch it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the last one. Hands together, or if you have a weight in your hand, that's fine. Up and together. Out and down. Up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Bring it up nice and high. Nice and high. Come on, get those elbows together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Get a drink of water if you need to. I sure do. Whew. So those of you who were around for the first couple of workshops I did for shoulders, we didn't do those stamina ones, we did other ones. And so now we're going to repeat some of the ones that we did in the first workshop and in the second workshop.
So Matt, question. Your goal really wasn't to exhaust our shoulders the way Josh exhausted us yesterday? Because it really did.
The answer was yes, it was made to. I don't like using the word exhaustion, but that's a real word. I'm looking for endurance because, you know, we do a race, and if your shoulders are saying, oh, I got to quit because they're tired.
You start flailing at the end, yeah.
Yeah, they're talking to you loud and clear. And the good news is that endurance can be increased and improved. The bad news is the only way to do it is by doing these kind of exercises. And if you don't like them, too bad. What can I tell you? Anyhow, we're going to drive a car right now. So you can either drive a car with a nice big steering wheel with no weights, or I'm going to use some weights. And all you're going to do is you're going to drive this car. It's a big car. Notice this nice rotation that you're doing. You want to have your hips help as well, that's fine. If you want to more isolating it into your shoulders, that's fine. Just for a few more seconds. Driving this nice car. Back and forth and back and forth. And release. This time I do want you to have some weights. It could be either a 1 pound or 2 pound. I'm going to use a 2 pound myself. Recall it, and this is one of the exercises that we did in the first workshop called scaption. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Scaption is where you're abducting, you bring your arms out to the side, but instead of straight to the side like this, you're bringing sort of at a 30-degree angle in front of you. So stand with a nice good form have your feet be about hip distance apart. Stand with your feet parallel to each other. Hands are facing each other. And then just bring your arms up to about the height of your head and down with control. 2, 3, 4. With control going up, control coming down. So you're not just letting your arms just flop down. And you're not using momentum to bring your arms up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once again, just as I said in the first workshop or the second, you can do this at home. You can do 12 reps, 15 reps, 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, whatever seems to work for you, whatever you want to do, however you want to work and improve your shoulder. Clasp your hands like so, and then bring your hands to the top of your head. Turn your palms to face the sky. And push your hands straight up to the sky and up and down a few times. Trying to keep your hands towards the back of your head as much as possible, straightening your elbows as much as you can, and pushing your thumbs to the sky. And now make big circles behind your head, as if you're painting a big halo behind your head. Elbows come nice and wide. Make the circles go in the other direction. And then up and down a few times. And release. Whew. Bring your arms. This is as if you're being held up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together without making shoulders, without making this part of your shoulders do the work. So you want your shoulders to squeeze together. It's called contraction. Hold it and let your shoulders relax. Shoulders together. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. So I'm not making my arms do the work. I'm letting the muscles around my shoulder blades, the rhomboids, the trapezius, those muscles are doing the work to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. One more time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Relax. Just as if you had an orange in between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squish that orange. Bring your hands up again like you're being held up. And this time we're just going to bring your hands to about 90 degrees and back on up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Down and up. 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 Each one of these movements that I'm doing, each one of these exercises, you can do anytime throughout the day, and just recognize which of the areas of my shoulders, which of these exercises are the hardest. And the ones that are the hardest, those are the ones you want to do. Let's see. Stirring a big pot. You can have a weight in your hand or not, whatever you prefer. But just imagine that there's a big pot out here in front of you, and you're holding a giant ladle, and the pot is this deep pot, and you are now going to not only stir the pot, you're going to move your hips and legs as well, but you're not going to let your elbows drop. So you want to keep your elbows nice and high. Stir the pot. Notice when your elbows want to start dropping, lift those elbows up. Stir that pot. Stir it, stir it. Stir it the other way. Feel how everything in your body is working now. The soup is getting thicker and thicker, so it's harder and harder to stir that pot and release. Bring your hands back into extension, thumbs touch. Stand up nice and tall. Lift your hands up a little higher. Lift your hands up a little higher. Lift your hands up a little higher. Lift them up a little higher, and now lift them up to the point where your thumbs separate, even if they just separate an inch. Oh, okay, now you can lift them up a little higher. Now lift them up a little higher with your thumbs touching, and now pretend or try to have your thumbs touch without dropping your hands down. For 5, 4, 3, touch those thumbs, pretending. 2, 1, and release. Whew. Railroad piston arms. Your arms are locked solid. You're like you have a steel rod from your wrist to your shoulder. Your elbow can't even bend a little bit, and you want to turn the wheels of a railroad car. So turn the wheels. Your hips are moving as well. Your back is moving. Turn those wheels. Nice. But your shoulders are doing most of the work. So don't let your hips overwhelm the shoulders. Now go backwards. Notice if one arm or the other wants to bend even a tiny bit. Remember, it's a steel rod, so it can't bend. And release. And take your weights, whatever weight you want to use. One hand, right hand. Turn it in so your thumb is pointing towards your left thigh, and then lift it up so that it's higher than your head. Your thumb is pointing to the ceiling, and back down. Left side. Thumb is pointing towards your right thigh, up, down. Let's do alternate. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, rotate that shoulder, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Last one, lift your shoulders up. Remember, we talked about elevation, depression, elevation, depression, elevation, depression. Now, lift them as high as they can go. Lift them up a little higher, higher, higher. Drop your head back into that little nest that you just made with your trapezius. Squeeze, look up at the ceiling for 5, 4, squeeze a little higher, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let your arms just kind of hang, sway, do whatever you need to do. And today's shoulder workshop is done.